Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the African Women Mobilization Commission Women Empowerment Workshop Series. I am so excited to have you here. These are one of my favorite things to do, just having a conversation, teaching others how to live life to the fullest. Today's topic is stepping into your power. Are you stepped in? Are you stepping into your power? Do you know what it means to step into your power? Are you prepared? If you're not prepared, it is my hope that after you meet me today, after we have a conversation today, you will see life differently, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Life cannot be stagnant. We have to move forward. We have to be excited. Life is actually what we make it. But I have a tendency to do affirmations every day before I get started with my day. So let me share my affirmation with you, and I hope you will join me. And if you don't have any affirmation for yourself, then you must consider creating one. It is without your way of getting your day started. And as a matter of fact, it is what prevents you from succumbing to life's challenges. It prepares you as much as possible. So here is my affirmation. Thank you, Divine Mother, Divine Father, for this wonderful opportunity that we call today. Today, I plan to move my mind and my body in the perfecting presence of Divine Mind. Right where I am lies the power. The divine is in the midst of me, creating divine order through divine love. I fear nothing today, seen and unseen. All the goodness in the universe I claim today as my divine inheritance. What do you claim for yourself today? What do you believe belongs to you? Who are you? Welcome to this workshop. I am so looking forward to our conversation today. You know, many of us have aspirations in life, and sometimes, we're just not prepared to put it into action. We don't know what direction to go. Sometimes you just need somebody to coax you, to tell you, come on, it's going to be all right. You can get it. You've got this. And that is what I am hoping to do today. Stepping into your power is the topic today, the prosperity mindset. Are you prepared to go beyond your humanness? Are you prepared to go beyond expectations put upon you by others? For our purposes today, power is effectiveness at moving one's emotions or changing how one thinks. How do you think? Who's controlling the way you think? Are you in charge of your thoughts? That's what it means to have power. To be able to move your emotions and change your condition in the world, change the way you think on your terms, not on anyone's terms. The purpose of the empowerment workshop is to support you in creating your life as you most want it. As you most want it. That's the key word there. As you most want it. I personally have assisted many people in living their heart's desire. I'm still going through mine. I'm still working through mine. But I get joy working through it with you. It's a journey. We're on a journey together. This workshop is grounded on the premise that our thoughts and beliefs create the conditions of our life. What we think becomes reality based on the power and the energy we put behind it. If you want to bring about changes in your life, you need to change your beliefs and mindset. You can't continue to do the same thing and expect to get a different result. You can't. You must change your thinking. You must develop a prosperity mindset to attract abundance in your life. In other words, believe that you can and then go after it with all of your capacity, and you find that it will become a reality. For most of us, our beliefs are unconscious. And quite frankly, the only way that we learn about them is when they manifest in our lives. Often not to our liking. Some of the beliefs that we have may not manifest the way we want it. But the hope of this workshop is to remind you that anything that you want to have happen for you, you've got to make it manifest. This workshop is going to help you gain deeper insight into your current beliefs and transform those that are not serving you. It's not everything that you believe in serve you. Now, sometimes we believe things because everybody else believes it. And when we do that, it doesn't always serve us. It may serve somebody else. So what are your beliefs? What do you believe? Is it yours, or are you borrowing someone else's and living someone else's life or someone else's dream? So think about what you are doing, how you're attracting your abundance. Are you thinking? Are you helping yourself? So this is what this workshop is supposed to do. I want to help you to craft new beliefs based on how you wish your life to be. The key word is you, how you wish your life to be, not how someone else wants your life to be. The result, I'm hoping, is a decisively created life that symbolizes your deepest aspirations and tenderest wishes. Your deepest aspiration and tenderest wishes. I'm going to talk about the concept of human agency. Do you know what that is? Human agency. Perhaps some of you already are aware of it. Perhaps somebody has talked to you about what that means. But let me just share a little bit what it is. It is your ability to use your own ability and choices to develop your goals and dreams. The key word is your. And I always have to go back to remind you what the key word is. Your. To develop your goals and dreams your way, through your own reality, through your hard work, through your belief system. And that's why it's important that your belief system is healthy. So what is empowerment? What is empowerment? It is the increase of your capacity to create positive behavior change by working directly with your own vision and goals, to take responsibility for your psychological, emotional, financial well-being, your own growth. It's in your hands. Sometimes, we think that we can't do it because we put it all in someone else's hand, but it's in your hands. Yes, you can. And I always remember Barack Obama, where he said, yes, you can. And he did. And so can you. You have to believe it. To be able to define yourself, work for yourself, and see life from your own lenses. Even when people do not share your vision, even when people think you have none. And I'm reminded of the story of the old blind man that was taken into this new home for the elderly. When he got there, he found that, well, certainly he couldn't see, he was blind, but he had a tour guide, and this tour guide took him around and was telling him how beautiful his room was, told him where everything was, but the man was blind. But before they got to the room, he said to the guide, I already love my room. So the question is, how can you like your room when you can't see? How can you like something you don't see? But he says, I see it because it's my vision that matters. It's not what you think. You may think I don't see because because I'm blind, but I know what I see in my mind, in my heart. So our vision must be based on what we see in our hearts, in our minds. So today in this brief workshop, the most important thing is to understand what I call mental visioning and action. Mental visioning and action. You must start, for you to have mental visioning and action, you must start by surrounding yourself with people who are upbeat, people who are going in your direction. Observe who is around you and decide who you need to hold close and who you need to isolate yourself from in your journey. You see, sometimes we have a tendency to hold people close because, well, we've been friends for a long time. Well, that's a personal kind of relationship. But anyway, when it comes to something that it requires that you move forward, you have to pick and choose who you want to put near you, who needs to be near you. When you're engaged in mental visioning, you need to see your way clear without obstruction. And believe it or not, some of the people that obstruct you are those around you that mean nothing to you, that don't go where they don't know, they're not going in the same direction. They're holding you back. See, now let me make this clear. If someone in your life improves your life, spend as much time around them as possible. Hang around successful people. Now, when I talk about successful people, I'm not talking about people who have money. I'm talking about people who are successful. They have the right mindset. They're going somewhere. You see, life is a journey. We will get there if we're going the right direction. But you don't want to hang around people who are not going the right direction, or people who undermine you, people who tell you you can't. Once you hang around such individuals, you are wasting your time. You need to spend no more than 5 minutes around those who drag you down. And you know who they are. Just make a list and think about it. I don't even have to tell you. You know who drags you down. Those naysayers, you have this ambition, you have things you want to do, but they have no aspiration whatsoever. And they tell you, yeah, no, you can't do it. And the sad thing is many of us believe it. I'm reminded of a gentleman who went to this big business meeting. Everybody there looked like they were millionaires. They were all successful human beings, and he was the one that was not successful. But after the meeting, he went to the presenter and asked him, how do I mean, how are these people making it and I'm not? So the presenter asked him, who do you have around you? The people you have around you will determine where you're going to go. If they're not going anywhere, 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to go anywhere. If you hang around people who are successful, not just successful in terms of money, because we misunderstand money. Money is important, but money is not the main definition for success. Successful people think alike. They think healthy. They have prosperity mindset. In other words, they're thinking about where they're going to be. They're not focused on where they are right now. So if you have a prosperity mindset, you're thinking about where you want to be. You can visualize it before it even happens. But don't hang around those who will tell you that your dreams are not worth anything, because it will eventually not be worth anything. So it's very, very important to, as a matter of fact, I recommend that you make a list. Now, they don't have to know it. I don't mean to go tell your friends that, you don't make my list. That's not the point. Make a list of those who are critical to your well-being, who are going to help you, who motivate you. Make a list of those. Then make a list of those who don't motivate you, those who hold you back, those who talk nonsense half the time, those who are never satisfied with their situation in the world, even if they are the ones causing it. So you want to make a list of those people and make sure that they are not hanging around you. Make sure it is the positive people that are hanging around. And I'll tell you, take a moment and look and see who you have around you. Look at your condition in the world and see who you're hanging around. They say misery loves company. So sometimes what we do is we hang around people who are miserable just like us, because, they say they're not making it, we're not making it. So, hey, what the heck, nobody cares. But you should care. If you want to have a prosperity mindset, you should care who is around you. The first point, one of the key points I want you to get to there is that you must think about what it is you desire to do. That is so important. If you don't have a direction, create a vision board. Life cannot just be passing you by, and perhaps life passes by because you pass life by. You're just passing by. You're not coordinated. You don't have anything planned. You have no vision board. You're just inhaling and exhaling. If there is a problem in your life that prevents the manifestation of your goals and aspirations, it may be causing you problems, but you do not know it because you have no vision. You don't investigate something when there's no vision. You don't know where you're going. So create a vision board. Some of you have heard about vision boards. Vision boards are just excellent. It has to do with where you want to be. I mean, and you can put a time frame. I want to be here at a certain time in my life. I want to achieve this at a certain time in my life. But just don't speak it. Visualize it. Make your board, hang it on the wall, and every single day, it gives you an opportunity to see where you want to be. This is a decision you made for yourself. Nobody made it for you. You make that decision. When we are young, we have adults and our family members tell us what we want to do. But when you get to a certain age, now you have to create your own vision board. But the important thing is not to create a vision board and walk away. The important thing is to create that vision board and then find out what it's going to take to make it a reality and what's going to prevent you from making it a reality. Concentrate, ladies and gentlemen, on what you want and why you want it. Just don't say, hey, I want this. It's got to be a reason why you want something. If you want to lose weight, there's a reason why you want to lose weight. I want to lose weight so I can fit into my clothing. I want to lose weight so I can attend this. I can do this. I can do that. You just don't say, I want to lose weight, because you're not going to lose weight. You can't just say it. You must work towards doing that. So it's very critical for staying on top of your big picture, for staying on top of your vision board. It is imperative to know exactly why you created the vision board, so you know how to stay on the, you can wind your mind around the big picture. Then plan, ladies and gentlemen, plan how you're going to do it. Often we know what we want. but we just don't know how to go about getting it. And what is stopping us and killing our dream? I think the biggest mistake people make is saying, I don't have money. You may not have the money today, but it doesn't mean you're not going to have it tomorrow. But if having money is your objective, then you have to ask yourself, how do I make the money? You can't just say, well, I really want to be rich, but hey, I don't have the means of being rich. There's always, everybody has talent. There's always something you can do, isn't it? Even if it's just to bring in a few little dollars here and there, there's always something you can do. It may not yield dividend immediately, but if you get started, if you know what you want and you get started on it, you will be amazed that you will get it. You'll get it to happen. Okay, so to have a vision board, know what you want, focus on what you want and how you're going to get it. Okay, and investigate what's stopping your vision board from becoming a reality. There are so many good ideas that are buried in the graveyard. I'm sure you've heard that before. The graveyard is full of individuals who had wonderful ideas, but they are gone now. They never materialized. The ideas never materialized because they didn't know how to go about achieving their goals. They didn't know what was obstructing their ability to achieve prosperity. If your mind can see it, you can make it happen. You envision and you act. But you can't make it happen if you don't find out what is preventing you from being where you want to be. Never give up. Many people just give up. Hey, listen, me included, everybody, sometimes life just gets so hard and you just want to throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm done. But that's one thing you never do. Giving up is not an option. Okay, because quite frankly, that's a lazy man's way or lazy person's way of dealing with life's challenges. Giving up. I can't do anymore. The temptation is there. Life has a way of just numbing your nerves and making you say, I can't do this anymore. But you never give up. As a matter of fact, it's when it's most difficult for you. That's when you give it another whack. Now, I'm going to recommend for you, there's a poem. I don't have that with me right now. It says, when things go wrong as they sometimes will, when life is challenging and you want to give up, stop, pause, if you will, but don't ever give up. It's a poem. It's called Don't You Quit. Please look it up. Don't You Quit. That poem is, I've read it over and over and over. I haven't mastered it, but it's something that I think is very helpful if you read it, particularly when you want to give up, when things just seem like it's so rough. Another point I want to make is to identify what's causing the problems. For any reason that something is not going right, there's always a reason why it's not. You never accept failure. You ask yourself, why did you fail? I'm a grant writer. I can tell you, many times I write grants and I don't get it, but I don't quit because I didn't get it. Instead, I would ask, okay, why didn't I get it? Failure is success turned inside out. If you don't get it right the first time, all you have to do is find out why you failed, and whatever caused you not to succeed, you stop doing that. Whatever you were doing that was preventing your success, then you stop doing it, but you don't quit. You don't say, I can't do it. It is imperative to discuss the reason why you are where you are, because where you are most possibly, for most of us, it's not where we want to be. That doesn't mean that's where we have to stay. It's just perhaps that what is blocking our way, what is blocking our capacity to prosper has not yet been identified. We haven't identified it. So consequently, you cannot get to where you want to be because those things are still lurking in the background. You don't know what they are. And quite frankly, it's because you don't have a vision board. You don't know what you want. You're not focused on anything, or you're focused more on seeing other people who are successful, and you say, well, that's never going to be me. Let me remind you that some of the richest people in the world started very poor. There's no condition that's permanent. It's only permanent when you give up. So no matter what the roadblocks, you can overcome it, but you have to find out what they are. What's keeping you? How are you impacted by the roadblocks? Challenges are not all totally a bad thing. I say that all the time. What they do is help you to build your muscles, big muscles that you can flex. You have to accept challenges as a way of learning what to do and what not to do. How are they impacting your goals? You got to find that out. Your objectives, you have to set up objectives to achieve your goals. So what are those objectives that would get you to your goals, and what's stopping the objectives from manifesting into reality? That's what you have to find out. Pay attention to your feelings too, because sometimes the way you feel about yourself, about anything, may impact how you act. Your feelings can lead you to many good places or many bad places. So, if you're angry all the time, 9 hours of the time, you're not going to focus on doing positive things. You're going to be stewing, and positive things pass you by. Examine your condition. If you're experiencing depression, terror, rage, or irritation, determine what you need to do to inspire you to find joy. Be empowered. Even a simple walk early in the morning can be enlightening. It can help bring your temperature down, mental temperature, if you will. Don't push negative thoughts down. Don't dismiss them. Find out what's causing them, because once you find out what's causing them, then you know what you should do to feel better about your condition in the world. I've learned that the best teacher in the world is experience. If something goes wrong in your life, 9 out of 10 times, it's not there to bring you down. It's actually there to help you rise. Think about that. Anything that happens to you, it's important to say, this too shall pass. If you have not made that part of your vocabulary, do so. This too shall pass. Whatever those problems are, they will pass. Ultimately, they do. The other thing I want you to know is to determine what happens if you don't have the right processes necessary to build. You have your vision board, okay? So what are the processes you need to put in place? And what are the consequences of your inability to move in the direction that you want to go? What processes have you put in place? If you want to be a doctor, if you want to have a doctorate degree, what do you have to do? You can't wish it into being. You got to go to school. Okay? You have to go to school and learn, if you want to be a doctor, you've got to go to school to learn how to be a doctor. If you want to be a pharmacist, the same thing. Whatever it is you desire, there's got to be a process. There's got to be a reason, and there's got to be a way of doing it, of achieving your goals. What are those? What are the possibilities? What are some of the things that you can do? It's always good that for any problem, there is always a solution. Make a list of the problems that you have, okay? Problems that impact the processes that you put in place, all right? Make a list of them. And then what happens is you start narrowing them down. This is the one that is most difficult for me. Make a list of all of them. You may have 10, you may find 20 reasons, okay, that you can't put your process in order. But you have to, the most important thing is to find the key ones that are preventing you from moving forward. And those are the ones that you're going to have to figure out, how do I solve it? Okay, I found out, I've identified what my issues are. I found out what exactly is causing my inability to move forward. Now, how do I manage it? If you're looking for money and you don't have money, well, what are you going to do about that? Okay, so maybe you have to get a job, any kind of job, or maybe you can get creative and sell stuff. All right. There's always a solution for every problem. And sometimes the solution is not as big as you think. Sometimes we think, oh, we've got to have millions in the bank account for us to get certain things, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. And the other thing is, always as you are walking through your issues, try using positive words. Choose words that will help you stick to the steps you've set for yourself, such as, I trust myself. Yes, I can. I can do this. I have the energy. I love this thing I'm doing. I am creative. I can make this happen. I'm so capable. I am an effective human being. I can do it. And so on and so on. Make a list of some of the choice words that you're going to use as you're trying to find how to solve the particular problems that you have identified that's holding you back. Try and figure out some of the positive words that you're going to use to solve those problems. It's never a good idea to say, I can't do this. I can't handle this. This is too much for me. We do that. You guys know we do that. This is too much for me. I can't do it. My mom and dad never went through this hassle. How come I'm going through it? And then sometimes we try to find faults. We may blame mom or dad, or we may blame a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or the whole country. We always find excuses. That's one thing. If you're going to have a prosperity mindset, lose your excuses. Find out what the issues are for you and find out how you're going to solve them. Make a list of all the possibilities and pick the right words to use. Now, sometimes I know myself personally, I find myself using negative words, and I have to kind of tap my hand and say, you can't be preaching that stuff, but you're not following it. You have to follow your own process. So you have to get in the habit of feeding yourself positive words, even in the middle of your challenge, even when it seems that it's darkest. That's when you have to find the choice words and the right attitude to get out of it. And like I said earlier, remember that the individuals that we are celebrating today as rich people, a lot of them started from the bottom. If you want to climb the mountaintop, have the right mindset. For me to get to that top, I have to start climbing. You can't jump up to the mountaintop. You have got to walk, trek, whatever terminology you want to use. But you're not going to get there by just wishing it. You're not going to get there by putting yourself down. You're not going to get there by putting other people down. You're not going to get there by being your own worst enemy. If you want to rise to the top, set the process in motion. Be patient, be patient, be patient. The people that don't succeed are mostly impatient people because they go halfway and they're done and they make excuses. I want, and they even talk to God. I want to climb the mountaintop. I want to get there, but my back hurts, my foot hurts. Maybe I should start the next day because today is maybe too hot. I just can't make it up that mountain today. I have hives. If it gets too hot, I have hives. So let me try tomorrow when it's cool. Then tomorrow comes out, you're still full of excuses. Oh my God, my toes are hurting today. My ear aches. When I climb a high mountain, the ears hurt. So I don't think I'll do it today. Maybe I should wait till tomorrow. So we are full of excuses why we don't take the necessary steps to get to where we want to go. So learn positive words. Feed it to yourself. Say it every single day. Yes, I can. I'm innovative. I can make this happen. Nobody's going to hold me back. I can do this myself. Now, let's say that you have discovered the objectives that you must use, and now you know what you want to do. You've got the processes that you must implement, and so that you can move to where you want to move. Again, here, pay attention to your thoughts. You've already figured it out. You are ready to roll. It's time. Let's do this, right? You got everything in place. Here you come. And then somebody just tells you, what is that you're trying to do? Do you know how so many people have tried that stuff and they failed? Please, don't waste your time. And you know what? 9 out of 10 times we buy into it. We believe them because they are our friends. Those are those friends I was telling you about. If you got your objectives, there's some things you don't even want to share with them. Just do it. Just do it. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to what you're listening to. If you wish to have a prosperous outlook, you must pay attention to the ideas that come to your mind. Make them positive. Stop accepting or using self-defeating processes, or rather phrases like, I can't, I don't know how. If you don't know how, then figure it out. My husband is a master of everything. I've never seen a man who has an answer for everything. There's nothing. If you ask him, how does this work? He never says, I don't know. He will tell you, well, go read it up, or he'll read it up. There's nothing he can fix. He can fix cars. He can fix houses. He can fix anything. That is a prosperity mindset. He's not a millionaire by a long shot, but his mind, using his mind, he can study. He never says, I can't do. If it can be done, he'll figure it out. That is what we must be about. If you don't know how, investigate it. Investigate how you can do it. Say to yourself, I'm able to do this. I may not know how to do it right now, but I can figure it out. I'll learn how to do it. And that's what we must be about. And what happens when you use the right words, you will experience a noticeable difference in how you feel, and your energy level will just be so different. You have a deliberate attempt to get things, positive words in your head, and those positive words will be things that will help you. Particularly when things get so hard and you just don't know what to do, just feed your mind with positive words. Yes, I can do this. There's nothing holding me but me. The worst enemy that you have really is you and the words that you use. What you feed your mind is what your mind is going to make manifest into reality. So why not feed it positive words? It's not going to hurt you. It's free. Those words are free. You don't need to pay anybody any money to say positive things for you. You can say it to yourself. You can look in the mirror. The mirror, most of us ladies, we have a tendency to look in the mirror, and what we focus on in the mirror is how to put up our makeup, how to dress ourselves. But sometimes it takes a little bit more than that. When you look in the mirror, you may want to look in the mirror, not just to see how well you look, but to talk to yourself. Your best friend looks back at you in the mirror. Your best friend will look back at you from the mirror. So it's important not to just stand in the mirror just to doll yourself up. Even as you're putting your makeup on, start talking to yourself. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself after you put your makeup on, you can say, "Ooh, you look good. I'm ready for today." It's imperative to find out what resource you need to move forward as well. That's important too, because resources are extremely important. When I say resources, what am I talking about? It could be money. It could be an item. It could be a place. It could be people. You have to figure out what resources you need to achieve what you're trying to achieve. So the important thing now will be, okay, so here is what I'm trying to achieve. This is where I want to be. This is my vision board. And these are some of the things that are keeping me from achieving what I want to achieve. Well, now I have found what those things are. And and these are some of the people that are in my way. I've gotten rid of them. So now this is what I'm doing. I've got everything that I need to move forward, but I have no money. Okay, well, money could be a resource that you need. Sometimes you don't even have to use money to buy something. Sometimes you can actually, what they say, trade by barter. You can find, if you're serious, you can find somebody and say, look, I don't have the money to pay you, but I can do this and do that and do that for you in exchange for what you need. Sometimes that works. Doesn't always work, but a lot of times it works. But in effect, what I'm saying, you always have to find what it's going to take to get you the results that you want, whatever the resources are. And sometimes you may just have to open your mouth and ask for it. There's GoFundMe. You have a good idea. GoFundMe, people raise millions of dollars in some cases, for a good idea. So never assume that you're not able to do something. The only thing that's holding you back, quite frankly, is your unwillingness to go beyond, expectations. You just have to venture beyond that gate, that fence, and go to where it's unknown, it's unfamiliar. It's extremely important how to get the resources to be able to achieve every aspect of your goals and objectives. But don't be bashful. If you have to ask, ask. And the worst thing that will happen is somebody will say, no, my father always told me that the other side of no is on. It's on. If somebody says no to you, it's on, honey. That just means you have to find another way. You don't fall apart. You don't say, I can't do it. Just find somebody else. 1 out of 10 people will say yes to you. 1 out of 10. If you have a vision that you are sharing, 1 out of 10 people, it's rare that 10 people will say no to you. 1 out of 10 people will say yes. So, it's a game of numbers, certainly. Ask as many people. I'm not saying go out begging money. Have something to offer and see what somebody, pay for it. depending, of course, on what it is you're trying to achieve. I'm just, in other words, trying to say to you, just because you don't have money doesn't mean that your dream has to die. It doesn't. If money is the issue, then find out how you're going to make it, get a job, ask for help, however you can get it. Remember, not everybody's going to say yes to you, but certainly not everybody's going to say no to you. Not everything you try is going to be successful, but not everything you try is going to be unsuccessful. So how do you know that you have become successful? How do you know that everything you've done, let's just say you've done everything that you want to do and it's all successful. How do you know you're successful? How do you know that talking to yourself, doing the right thing, having a process, having a vision board, that all of that stuff has worked? How do you know that you're successful? Let me tell you, when my husband and I lived in an apartment and the children were coming, right? But we needed a space. Initially, I was working as a program director for an African-American woman who owned homes for the developmentally challenged. Well, I certainly didn't have the kind of money to buy a house, but I went to the city of Detroit. There was a neighborhood called Rosedale Park. And as I drove through there, I saw this really beautiful home. It wasn't large, but it was just nice home. And I saw the amount that it was for sale. I called to find out how much they were selling the house. Well, told me how much they were selling it. Well, but my job, what I was doing, I certainly wasn't making that much money. But I wanted the house. I wanted it. It had to be mine. But here is my vision board working. My mind is already working. And I'm saying it's not a matter of what I can't do. It's something I want. But how do I go about getting it? That's the thing. Well, I certainly didn't have that kind of finances. So I had to go and ask my boss. Well, my boss was the kind of woman. She was very regal and quite imposing, quite, intimidating, really. To approach her for anything, you have to really swallow hard and think about what you're about to ask and make sure you ask for the right thing. So I went to her. I just took a chance because I didn't have any other alternative. I didn't have any alternatives. I went to her and I told her, I said, before you say no to me, there's a house that I'm trying to buy in Detroit. I don't have the means, the down payment, and my credit line was not up to par at that time. But I promise you, if you help me get this house, I will not let you down, and I will not cause you, it will not be a problem for you because I will make the payments. I gave her the whole spiel and all that. To my surprise, she said, sure. And the reason why she said sure was because, quite frankly, I was a good employee. And she said to me, I trust you. I know you'll do the right thing. So that's how I got that. She co-signed for me and I got this lovely home. But let me tell you what happens when you become successful, when you step into your power, when things that you want begin to happen, you start getting excited. Then you don't limit yourself. You now start thinking about what's the next thing. You're excited now. Wow, this worked. Okay, what's the next thing? Stepping into your power requires that you have the right set of tools to work with. And that tool, the biggest tool, is your mind. The right mindset that will prepare you to begin your journey towards achieving abundance. You must believe. You must believe. And of course, you have to be a kind of a person that others can trust in case you're approaching others for anything. They have to be able to trust you. What emotion comes to mind when you think about what you're doing and achieving? You get a rush of enthusiasm once you're achieving it. I mean, you go through your to-do list and put them all in action. Oh my God, I did this one and it worked. And this is how I achieved it. Always make a note how you did it and how you achieved it. And can you reapply it again? If that's not going to work, then what are you going to put in place? It's all about getting excited about what you're doing, what you're going to do next. So for me, after we got the first house, I wasn't frightened because I tell you one thing, it can be quite frightening, when something that you were not expecting happens, you get a little frightened. Wow, how did that happen? But at the same time, your optimism begins to takes over the fright, the fear. You start feeling like, okay, all right, I can do this. I can even do better. I can go better. So after maybe about 5 years, well, I think it was, about 5 years, I went to another neighborhood, which was a more affluent neighborhood. and I saw a home. A friend of mine was a realtor, and I told her, oh my God, she lived in the neighborhood that I wanted to go to. I said, oh my God, these homes are so beautiful. But, she says, well, do you want to move here? I said, yeah, I would like to move here. And she says, well, there's a home. She gave me an address. She said, there's a home for sale. And I went and saw this property. Oh my goodness, it was just gorgeous. Well, here again, how do I get the money? But you see, once you're successful the next time, it's no longer a matter of, oh my God, I did it the first time, but it's not going to work this time. No, this time you say, well, I did it the first time. How do I make it happen again? And you start looking for ways. And she told me, sell your house. Sell your house, get the equity in your house, and apply it to this house, the down payment. Here again, this time it worked. I used the equity and I bought this beautiful home. See, now I'm getting really excited. I said, wait a minute, this thing works. See, my belief system was on well, I was pumped up. I knew I could do it now. When I had doubt, had died. Because every time that you're successful doing one thing, it pumps you up. It motivates you to do more. Small successes aid big successes. It helps you to change the way that you think, helps you become prosperous. So you don't ever stop because you got it right the first time. Well, that was luck. I can't do any more, but this is good. Thank you, God. I was able to achieve this. Now stop. No, keep going. Keep going, because life is an adventure. It doesn't stop anywhere. You can't stop yourself. Just keep going. Just keep moving. You get, to achieve anything takes a step. If you want to walk 1,000 miles, you have to take that first step. But you don't stop because you've done 100 miles. What's beyond the 100 miles? Curiosity will make you want to know what's beyond. What else can I find? What else can I do? And that's what you did. That's what was happening to me. And I said, ooh, listen, I can do a whole lot more. Let me keep going. I went to Nairobi, Kenya. I was a guest of the United Nations, Africa's most senior religious leadership conference. My father is the spiritual head of Guardianism International, and he could not go. So I had to go in his place. So when I got there, I was able to see all of the world's most senior religious leaders. It was just amazing to see to be in the company of all these world leaders. And when we left, the whole idea of the conference was to talk about children who were impacted negatively by the HIV/AIDS pandemic that was in Nairobi, Kenya. In Nairobi, Kenya, I saw poverty like you would not believe. The place that they call Kibera, where young children were digging in the dirt, and as little as 2 or 3 years old, no parents. Parents have passed through from HIV/AIDS, and there was certainly no programs available to a lot of these. And I'm talking about millions of children in the street and all that. And then after the conference, they asked us to be the voice of the children, go back where we came from to become supporters of these children, to speak for them because they couldn't speak for themselves. Well, I didn't have the kind of money. I didn't know what I could do. I mean, what could I possibly do but pray? But I found that prayer without action was not going to do anything. So I committed myself to start an organization that would help children. So initially, my first initial organization was focused on children, helping children. So I learned how to do grant writing to get some money to help some of these kids. And eventually, it became a little bit more difficult working with just children because of some of the rules and regulations about that. So I went into trying to help women to rise. And that's why, quite frankly, we started the African Women Mobilization Commission. And the whole idea is to motivate women to help women build, and at the same time, to do philanthropic work that will help children and help people who need our help. So I say this to say that, once life takes you one way, you don't stop. You just keep going. The world is nothing but an adventure, so you don't stop. Once you meet one success, then you have to keep going and just keep going and just keep going until you can't go anymore. But until you're 6 feet under, you really have to keep moving, never stop, never stop. I just want to share with you before I continue. I would like to share before I continue, I would like to just share this video. As the president of the African Women Mobilization Commission, we have this program for children, and the objective is to raise money to sponsor young children. I'm so excited to admit that there are so many children lined up on our website, OMC, it's omc.global. AWMC.global, where there are so many children out there that need help, and they are mostly members of the internally displaced communities. So I just want to play this video to remind those of you wherever you are, because I see that where people are on Facebook and YouTube and here on StreamYard, so that different places where you are, please pay attention to this video. There's so many children in need of our attention. So I'll be right back, and we'll take it on the other side.
African Women Mobilization Commission Child Sponsorship Program. Here at OMC, we believe that every child deserves a chance to thrive, no matter who they are or where they live, and that opportunities help a child to develop and build precious imagination. A healthy and imaginative mind can see the possibilities of the future, and a child with a future can weather the storms of life if given the right tools and the chance. Sponsoring a child helps a child to eat, get an education, have good health care, and gain a friend and mentor in you. I know you want to know more. Sponsor a child by visiting AfricanWomenCommission.net. After all, a child is waiting. Register to meet your sponsored child today.
I can tell you that is what happens as you're becoming successful in life. You find that helping other people it's magical. It's magical. Because to be a reason why a woman or a child moved from poverty, from the valley up onto the mountaintop, or there's nothing more exciting than that. At least for me, I love doing that. So now, one of the things that I want to share with you is some of the things that you need to write down. I want to encourage you to put together a list of ideas that will help you, to help your outlook, to give you that prosperity mindset, that will set you towards wealth and success. Remember, when you are developing a prosperity mindset, it is not based on what people want from you. It is based on and you can be a part of an organization. You can be a part of an organization that's moving forward, that's doing positive things. But at the same time, you also have to set your own ideas of what you want to do with your time. And you can even offer and share some of your ideas with any organization you're with, maybe your family, maybe your true friends. You can make a list, something like, my abilities and gifts are one of a kind. You can even convince yourself that you are so different. You're totally different from everybody else. I'm not like anybody else. I am different. I'm created differently. And what happens is that when we look at ourselves from the perspective of that we've got the ability and the gifts to do whatever we want to do, and that we're one of a kind, it doesn't matter anymore what people think about us. It doesn't matter. But see, once you convince yourself that you're good enough and you have everything that you need to have, it would not matter anymore what people think about you. But make that list. You can say to yourself, I was born to be wealthy. I was born to be wealthy. I am going to be prosperous. I am responsible for my growth or lack thereof, my psychological well-being, anything. You make a list of those things that you say to yourself every day, even in the midst of your challenges, even when it's so dark, when you just want to give up. Make a list. You can say to yourself, I can do anything. That could be on your list. I can do anything. And I put my mind to. And that's usually works very well when you find yourself in that time that, maybe somebody said something negative at work, or maybe your boyfriend or husband or somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do. You just say to yourself, look, I can do anything. I can make myself happy. I can do this. I can do. You take yourself out. One of the things that people don't understand is you can date yourself. Let me tell you what I mean. Don't wait for somebody to take you anywhere. Make a plan where how you're going to entertain yourself. See yourself as worthy of your time. Take yourself out. Go and have dinner by yourself. Dress up. Don't go in your jeans and tacky clothing. Dress yourself up. Hey, and while you're at it, stop by the road and buy yourself some flowers. And when you get to the to restaurant or wherever it is you're going, put your take a vase with you, ask them to give you some water, put your flowers in there. Date yourself. In other words, all of this is a mindset. You have to build yourself up. People will try to bring you down, but you must have something you do for yourself and say to yourself to keep you motivated, excited to be a part of this life. Okay. I said it earlier. This too shall pass. Let that become something that you say to yourself each time. There is no condition that's permanent. Something is going to happen that's going to make you, it's going to weigh you down. And you just want to, just give up. I can't do this. No. Where is your list? That's the time to pull that list that says, okay, I am perfect today. I am a perfect image of the Creator. I am made in the image of God. And if that's the case, how can I be weak? How can I be weak? Convince yourself that you can come out of whatever it is that you're in. But most importantly, never allow anybody to define your reality. We have a tendency of doing that. A prosperity mindset does not allow people's words of negativity to become their reality. Don't allow anybody's opinion about your life, about who you are, about where you are, or your aspirations. Don't let their words discourage you from being all that you were meant to be. We always say, right where I am, God is. Right where I am, divine mind is. Well, if you believe that the divine is powerful, then that means you're a powerful being. Because right where you are, that's where the presence of the Most High is. So you have to you have confidence in yourself. You have to build yourself up. And sometimes also, even if you have $1, give somebody a quarter. Karma is such that what you give out comes back to you. When I go out here and I'm raising funds to try and help children, I don't get a penny out of it. But it comes to me because other people see what I'm doing and they say what we're doing and they say, okay, how do we help? See, sometimes goodness comes to you because of the good you put out in the world. Never be bashful about doing good. Give as little as you can, even if it's a quarter, even if it's one kobo, whatever it is you have, give. Even if it's a broken wristband that you have, anything you can give to bring a smile to somebody's face, you just do not know how that comes back to you, And you can write down that says, my prosperity is on its way, and I will pursue it with all the passion that I've got. My prosperity is on its way. See, when you have that mindset and you see somebody who's doing well, you are not going to be jealous. You don't have time to be jealous because your prosperity is coming. Be patient. Just wait for it. It's coming. It's going to take you believing in it. It's going to take you working for it, but never, ever pause yourself because somebody else made it. You don't know where they've been. You don't know what they have been through to get to where they are. Never assume anybody gave them anything. They may have been busting their behinds. You see, your mind is such a powerful thing. Where your mind, your behind finds itself, your mind put it there. If you find yourself as a wealthy person, your mind put you there. If you find yourself as a poor person, your mind put it there, because poverty is not, wealth is not all about money. Even positive thought is wealth. There are people who are rich, who are horrible. So wealth is not just the money thing, because money does not make you a good person. Money does not make you a happy person. There are wealthy people who are so sad today, who are not good to be around, who are evil, so to speak. So money, wealth, prosperity is not all about money. And that's where we go wrong. That's where we go wrong. That's where we don't look at all the good things in our lives. that is going on. Did you wake up today? Yes, you did. My God, how much more prosperity do you need than that? Because if you're able to walk amongst the living, if you're still here inhaling and exhaling, that means you've gotten another opportunity to get it right. You can still get it right. Your prosperity, say that to yourself as often as you possibly can. My prosperity is waiting for me. It's coming, and I'm patient. I will pursue it with all my passion, and I will wait for it to manifest into reality. Maybe not today, but possibly tomorrow. But in your mind, see it before it happens. Claim it before it happens. Don't give up on your dreams because it hasn't happened, because your prosperity is coming. Your abundance is coming. You're going to study what you need to study. You're going to do what you need to do so that you get to where you need to get. Never restrain your capacity to build because it hasn't happened. Success happens incrementally. You have to be patient. You have to work with it. Take one step at a time. But guess what? It happens. It will happen. Everybody who's made it today, they didn't just make it like that. They worked for it. And you have to do the same thing. Prosperity mindset requires that you're always on the move, always believing in your own views, in your own opinion, modifying as often as you have to, but believing mine shall come. Here I come. I say that to myself every time that I do for others. Every time that I want to do something, I say, mine is coming. Here it comes. Open the door. Let it all in, because it's coming. It's coming because God did not put you in this world to suffer. You were put in this world for a purpose. As long as you're inhaling and exhaling, your prosperity will come. Be brave in your actions. Write that down. I will be brave in my actions. I will do whatever it takes to bring me closer to where I want to be, to my financial success. I will not be scared, because you deserve to be successful. Say that to yourself. Write it down. I deserve to be successful. Don't give up on yourself. The prosperity mindset reminds you that anything that you want, everything that can be gotten, is within your reach. There's nothing that anybody has that you cannot have. There's nothing that exists that is too good for you. There's nothing that anybody has that you absolutely don't have the right to. You can get it, but you have to have the right mindset. You can be all that you want to be. You can achieve all you want to achieve. I'm telling you, my sisters or my brothers, whoever you are, wherever you are, you were made to be successful. And you're going to have to get in the habit to understand that you are made to be successful, and you can be all that you can be, and you must go after everything that you want with all of your capacity, with all of your strength. Just go and get it. If you want to get in touch with me, please contact me at www.omc.global, awmc.global. Also, you can also get me at drsimmery.com. It's my email address. If you want to, you can follow me on the Ntomodu Show. I have a podcast that I do called the Ntomodu Show with Dr. O on Facebook. Also, the Ntomodu Show on YouTube. You can follow me there. And I want to thank all of you who have joined wherever you joined today. And I hope that whatever I shared with you today, you can take it and add it to your repertoire. There is nothing that you have to keep if you don't want it. But what's most important is it is up to you to be successful. It's nobody's responsibility but yours. I thank you all. This is just a 1-hour workshop. Of course, I could go on and on and on, but I do realize it's a workshop. It's a 1-hour workshop. And I thank all of you who joined. And we're always going to have these workshops. As a matter of fact, we have several other workshops coming up next week. Thank you, ladies, gentlemen, wherever you are, underneath the sound of my voice. It's been a pleasure being with you. And I hope to see you all again next time. You take care.